That happened also over on a Jake Tapper show. Look, many people like Glenn Greenwald pointed out there is this really interesting gap between claims that we have to preserve democracy and then kind of doing things like this that don't exactly scream democracy, picking or choosing whether or not you're going to air an acceptance speech. I can maybe understand it with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's maybe a less significant candidate, but the former president of the United States having a major win in a caucus like this and then refusing on the basis of your editorial judgment not to play this, when of course Rachel Maddow was behind so much misinformation in the Russiagate era, did strike people as a bit hypocritical.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
What are they afraid? They're afraid that if people hear from Donald Trump, they're going to like him more. Republicans in Iowa can't like him any more than they already do.
What is good, YouTube family? It's your boy Rashad with the Black Anomaly Rising channel. Man, Donald Trump freaking crushed everybody yesterday in the Iowa caucus. It's all over the news, so I'm sure that y'all have heard about it. Pretty much he destroyed Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and even the GOAT, the future president, 2028, Vivek Ramaswamy. So all of that's over and done with, and the liberals are just really freaking mad. They can't handle it, okay? They're really upset, and it's so bad to the point where when Donald Trump was giving his victory speeches, they took and just cut him off. Take a look.
We're going to seal up the border. Because right now we have an invasion. We have an invasion of millions and millions of people that are coming into our country. I can't imagine why they think that's a good thing.
Donald Trump declaring victory with a historically strong showing in the Iowa caucuses. If these numbers hold, the biggest victory for a non-incumbent president in the modern era for this contest. A relatively subdued speech as these things go so far, although here he is right now under my voice. You hear him repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important. The reason I'm saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision, but there is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are. And so his remarks tonight will not air here live. We will monitor them and let you know about any news that he makes.
Now, here's my problem with this sort of stuff. Is they're basically trying to say, well, Donald Trump, he may say, or at least in Rachel Maddow's case, you know, CNN, they tried to be tactful and try to pretend like they wasn't trying to cut him off and, oh, he's anti-immigrant. But then when it came to Rachel Maddow, you know, she just straight up said, hey, we just not going to air it because he's just going to just tell lies. We don't want you to be misinformed. We want you to believe what we want you to believe, not whatever you want to believe. Freedom of speech for Trump is not allowed because he might say something that we don't agree with, and you might agree with him and not us. And then these fools will turn around and say, well, why don't you trust us? People don't trust mainstream media outlets. Instead, they're trusting people like Joe Rogan, Tim Pool. Why is this happening? Well, maybe it's because you don't trust your own viewers. You ever thought about that? These people don't trust their own viewers to watch Trump, to listen to what Trump has to say, and risk the possibility that maybe people will agree with them. Oh, no, we can't have that. Jake Tapper had a lot of audacity himself trying to say, oh, it's anti-immigrant rhetoric. No, it's not anti-immigrant rhetoric. It's illegal immigration rhetoric. Jake, it's not anti-immigrant. I ain't never once ever heard anybody say we don't need to invite anybody into the country for any reason ever. I've never heard anybody say anything like that. I've only ever seen people get onto illegal immigration because it is a problem. It is breaking the law. You can't just say because you support as much immigration as possible, breaking the law is therefore okay, and speaking out against it is somehow, it just makes you just mean and cruel. That's what these people think. You're just mean and cruel, and you're just a bad person for speaking out against breaking immigration law. You do realize that as an American, if you break immigration law, most of the time they will literally arrest you. If you like assist with illegal immigration, they will arrest you as an individual if you're not like ordered to do something, of course. But if you were to do something that they don't accept, then you're in trouble. So why would you be not a citizen here? You come into the country, your first act of business is coming into the country unauthorized. No green card, undocumented, no nothing. You just walking in and then treated as if you're a king or a queen, and nobody should have anything negative to say about that. When people are coming in the millions, and then wonder why the mainstream media is not trusted. And going back to Rachel Maddow, we don't want Donald Trump to say something and have the people believe it. Okay, so at what point are people gonna trust you if you won't even let them hear what your political adversary essentially has to say? How are people supposed to trust you if you don't trust them? It's a two-way street. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Y'all know on this channel, when I'm doing research to figure out what videos to make, like I will read articles, I will look at Twitter, I will watch other videos. Yeah, it'll be from all kinds of different news media outlets. Okay, I'm not gonna list every single one, but it's the obvious stuff like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, Forbes, Sky News Australia, ABC, CBS, Associated Press, New York Times, Washington Post. There's an infinite amount. Okay, infinite. I look at everything. It don't matter if I don't agree with what they're saying. I'll see what they say because I don't want nobody. Some people like to omit facts and they like to add certain things that aren't true and all this stuff. Listening as much as possible gives me the greatest perspective from as many different viewpoints as possible. So I'm not just living in this bubble, this echo chamber where all of a sudden somebody just come with a freaking needle and just pop it. And then I'm sitting up there looking crazy, all disillusioned and foolish. But that's exactly what Jake Tapper and Rachel Maddow want from you. They want you to live in your bubble. And they don't want you to hear anything that they may disagree with. And accordingly, they got all of these people turning against them. And then they just keep wondering why. Why do people not listen to us? Why do people not trust us? We have so many teams doing research for us and fact checkers and all of this stuff. It's like, first off, you got all of that, and a lot of times you still be wrong. Mr. and Mrs. Russia collusion.
And that maybe is the most important thing for our purposes as U.S. citizens here, right? We're all trying to figure out what's just happened to our country. What's going on with this incredible national security scandal that looms over our new presidency? How are we going to get to the bottom of this thing? Of Russia hates Russia, Putin, Russia.
And secondly, you don't trust your own constituents to even see a freaking victory speech? You could just fact check the speech. They love fact checking speeches and town halls and stuff. Why don't you just do that? But no, instead, you want to just get on your little high horse and pretend as though, mommy's protecting you from the bad orange man. That's basically what they're trying to do. We're going to protect you from orange man. It's ridiculous. You can't do that. Show the dang speech. And you call it a day, and then you want to fact check them later. Do that. Treat everybody like they're adults. Everybody who's voting in this election has to be over the age of 18, so they're an adult. We can handle information, be it from Donald Trump or Joe Biden or anybody. If the people are lying, the facts will present themselves, and the people will inevitably make the decision based off the information they have available at the time. But hiding and obfuscating information is not what a news media organization should do. That's what a media shield would do. That's what fake news would do. That's what people who were on a witch hunt against Trump would do. Thanks again for adding more credibility and more fuel to the fire of people saying that Donald Trump is being politically persecuted and that the mainstream news media outlets are 100% in on it. every day they make themselves look more and more guilty. Keep it up, and it's going to be Trump 2024. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
By the way, that is a lot of fake news back there. That's a lot.